What's up, everybody? We got some stuff to
Keeping
sell
those
before
exiles
we
on their
run back
toes,
into the
are you?
labyrinth there. The 4 link.
Until next time.
The mother. Oh shit. I clicked on our place.
Ascend with precision.
Hmm. Alright. I'm gonna start commentating on this because it's a bit more like free thing. What's cracking, everybody? Blah blah blah. Things, lots of things, stuff. Probably should start talking about like actual things over these. Uh, Talk about, I guess, modality of video games. Path of Exile has its own problems. Um, See, the problem with Pax of Exile, Pax Romana of Exile, is that it's alright. You look at the passive skill tree, and it's on a massive scale. It's huge. Look at all of this. Look at all these things. I'm level 58. I still have many levels to go. The scale of this game is massive. That's also what's wrong is it's all, you don't see the numbers, but you don't see the numbers when I hit something like this, but it's all damage scaling based off, it's all scaling based off the numbers. The numbers are here, the numbers are here. I got numbers in my character sheet. Mobs have health numbers, and it's all scaled. They have a certain level in the area, the certain amount of health per level, per mob type, uh, and so on. Fucking strike costs 40 damn mana. Yeah. Surprise, when I'm not always constantly out of mana. Fuck it. I'm gonna level it up once because I need more mana leech. Yeah. Take me to your leader. Probably take me to the silver one. We'll take this one anyways. Yeah. I think that most games, Diablo 3 suffers from this almost paralytically bad. Is the scaling problem that it has. That it's exactly like this game, but the scaling's even worse because at least in this game, a lot of the scaling is levels, and I mean
I can't do this
that's
just
a
yet.
little bit. It's hard to say which one's worse. I think D3 is worse because the scaling takes place at the end game, and your end game scaling here is ridiculous. Giant, like unknowable vast chasms in gear difference, and numbers, and all these deals. And what I like about shooters is most of the scaling can be countered. Some people, oh, fast firing gun, blah 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 blah. Well, you shoot them in the head. You can counter a lot of what people complain about in shooters by applying bullet to face. But yeah, um, the problem with
Where there's a silver
scaling, in
key,
my
there
opinion,
must
in
be
a
a
lot of
silver
games,
door.
is that they instead of using difficulty as like, I actually don't have a problem with mobs dealing more damage at higher difficulties. You can scale that up, but I'm more against player health pool and damage scaling. You can scale up the mob health pool too. That's also totally fine. And if you're gonna scale it, keep it low on the player's end, so that here's why. Have a low amount of scaling in the game. You can have friends pick up the game and play. Also play it immediately, and well, it, very suddenly play it together. Versus where in a game like say this game, World of Warcraft, any RPG that functions off of levels and gear scores and all that, to play together, your friend has to get to the max level, and then they can sort of play with you, but then their gear score is not even anywhere close to on par with your gear score. And so, there's other games that aren't RPGs that suffer from this. There are shooters that suffer from scaling problems for sure. Don't even get it twisted. You know, we know all about that. But I think that yeah, we shouldn't have uh, scaling this massive in games. Um, should be like, so I played World of Tanks with a homeboy. Never had a tier 8 tank until I was basically done with playing the game. And we were always playing like tier 5 tanks. But I had a tier 10 tank in the before the game was released. So no, I only have like a day. But before the game was released, I was playing high tier, and when the game was released, I was playing high tier, and my buddy would only play the low tier, and I didn't want to do that because I wanted to go play. Eventually, I played the T-34 before they made it a premium tank. Then I got a premium tank, T-34 for free, and I loved playing that tank. Eventually, I just started playing that tank like permanent styly, and I really wanted to play tier 8 with my homeboy so I could mess around in my T-34, but he definitely was not up on that, and he just wanted to play tier 5, and he couldn't, he because of the scaling in the game, we never got to experience the game together in the best way that was possible for both of us. Because I think high tier tank combat in the game was a shit, and yeah, just an opinion, but it's all just opinions. It's all just me spitballing. I know some people like scaling in games. They like all these barriers. It stops casuals from getting into the game. Well, you want to know how you also stop casuals from getting into the game? It's called PvP waffle stomping. You get all sorts of PvP on their face, and then you waffle stomp them. They'll moan in the dry, huh? And after a requisite amount of wrecking their dreams and their hopes and their joy, they will quit playing. If you really want to keep noobs out, but you don't want to keep people out of your game. You want to welcome the noobs and just teach them how to play the game, not like not like an idiot. Like, look, this is a useful website to read stuff. Here's a place where you can find builds and all the information you need. Check it out, read it up. Don't be an asshat. And if there was, and if the only scaling that mattered was skill, uh, I think that The only scaling that people gave a dang about was the scaling of how well you performed in combat versus. I play a game that is so poorly scaled, it's ridiculous. But we'll talk about that. There's a lot wrong with that game. There's a lot right with that game. But a little. The objective here is to get as many people to play your game as possible. You want to do that, let friends play with friends really fast, really easy. You want to know a secret?
Where
You
there's
want
a
to know
golden
how
key,
World of
there
Tanks got
must
so
be a
popular so
golden
fast?
door.
I remember when when they put out the beta, they gave my homeboy keys so that he could play with me, and then so we just started playing together. They just they just were in. Maybe it wasn't that game. There was a game that was super popular. It was just like, here's a beta key and two more beta keys to test with your friends. You want to know how you really get people playing your game? Let them play with their
Gold is the
homeboys that
most
they were already
liberating
playing
of
games with
metals.
as little pickup as possible, so that even if their homeboy comes in the game months after them, it's all just, instead of just being unable to play together because the other guy's level 10,000, they just pick up the game like, let's do this, man. Let's do it. And they start fighting whatever they're fighting or throwing plants or whatever they're doing in the game. And then, then they're gonna be like, dude, great game.
Oh, the weary
We
traveler
picked it up.
draws close to the
4 hours
end of the
later, we were
path.
like, that was crazy.
Slowness lends strength to one's enemies.
And that's definitely a problem in Path of Exile, is the scaling.
I can't do this just yet.
Ooh, yee.
No two battles are alike.
My spirit is spent.
Ooh. Got mana, go on.
For
Oh,
those who
wait,
ascend
that was a
too
better
quickly,
fight than
the
I've known about
fall is
before.
inevitable.
I think I do about having a homebrew, but I'm trying to get it down so I can learn to fight him later. Hey everybody. We're gonna look at the skill tree while the skill tree is massive and it's interesting. And I like this game because of how deep and how complex it is and all the intricacies in it and how just this is a great game. But still, not saying that games with scaling can't be really fun games. But games without scaling or with as little barrier between people playing together as possible, maybe that can be done through scaling, maybe that can be done through other things. You can ooh, I'll try to get that later. But you yourself can as a game developer can influence the popularity of your game through a simple choice like, so power leveling. Do we allow it? I mean, it sounds jacked up, but nobody. Yeah, you get power level, you don't know how to play the game. If you get power leveled, especially with like a group of friends like mine, we would like to be able to power level our homeboys so that they can join us immediately in the battlefront. But that's whatever. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed my terrible explanation. Peace.